Hi.
Hello, yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome to Pisces to Aquarius, August 2018.
Yeah, this is
We're doing a little live stream through YouTube to play with it, but we're gonna post this guy later. Anywho, we're just gonna go through all the signs, start with Leo, and yeah,
cool.
cool.
Great.
Um,
Last month, the,
Nice is gonna pull cards, but I just have my deck on me just in case I want to supplement or whatever, and I was just kind of messing with them, and this guy flew out.
ha,
And Nasa was saying right beforehand, she's like, whatever leaf is being turned, it's been turned. So
done. It feels like
click, got it. Um, we,
so. Let's.
um, I love this new setup, but it is interesting figuring out because it like you talk and then all of a sudden Nasa's face comes up and I'm like, what?
That's mine has been staying pretty like solidly me.
Oh,
Um,
really?
like interesting because I'm not at my peak right now, so I'm just like,
Oh my God.
hey,
Anyways,
I was like,
so we'll start pulling cards for Leo. We just had the lunar eclipse in Aquarius, which obviously is in Leo season. I thought that was and it was the longest one in over a century.
and it was a blood moon.
Yep.
Yeah, that must have gone up some. I know that night was pretty chaotic for me. I don't
Oh,
know.
really? And Mercury went retrograde on the 27th. Um, and we got one more solar eclipse coming up on the 11th. It's going to be really cool from the East Coast. I'd like to go on this one app and do like a visual, and I posted it on our account, on my account as well. But I posted like a little simulation app that I have where you can go into the future, and from the East Coast you can see the sun. Obviously, the sun will be rising over the East Coast, but the eclipse is happening as the sun is coming over the horizon. The moon will be coming out of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a pretty cool visual.
Okay, I pulled a
What do we
couple
got? You,
cards.
you
Let's
said you can show the click the video, right?
can. We're gonna have to. I haven't like set this up yet, so
Okay.
bear with me as I go through and just make it look decent.
Boom.
There are so many things here, like my coffee mug. This
I
is
love how we have those lions right at the front, even though it looks like it's the chariot card.
right. Well, that's what I was thinking, and I remember Leo's had a good setup last
They
month.
did.
All correct.
I think you're right. Oh dang, I should have pulled that up.
And they were the only ones who I felt like were really solidly like, oh, hey, Leos, look at you. You're doing great. Well, the rest of us were kind of like struggling. Let's see. That would have been. Sorry, everybody. Everybody. How does this work? More recent ones to the front. So that would be. I'm not
I
sure.
also thought like the earlier signs were okay. Like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, like had some interesting reads where it was like less
Right.
crazy.
Sorry, everybody. Just trying to make this straight. But yeah, so what I'm seeing here is this all upside down. How does this come across? Save. Oh, okay. So this one was the first one. So let me reverse this so that we can
Uh-huh.
properly. Great. Yeah, except that this looks reversed now. This is so confusing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. This is I'm learning. I'm learning here with you. Okay, that's what we've got.
Are you because the chariot was in the past and now it's in the future?
Oh, does it look like it's in the future now?
Yeah, which is its own kind of meta statement, but
Oh no, the chariot is definitely the past, and then it goes.
yeah, it's not what. No, you need to. You're playing cups with the cards.
Right there, there.
Okay, cool. Speaking of cups, you got that in the
Great.
present.
Yes. Oh boy. All right.
Well, it's interesting how you go from fast moving to slow, and in the middle you have hesitation and stagnation.
Right.
It's like things are out of control, and then it's like almost you need to take that second under the tree, evaluate the cups versus the traditional meaning. I mean, potentially versus the traditional meaning of pining after something you can't have. I feel like that Four of Cups is almost slowing this Chariot character down so he can reach the Knight of Pentacles state.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. I think right now there might have been a lot going on and a lot pushing you forward, which like you were in control of and you were able to kind of maintain, but that you, I mean, even if you were in a place of just taking a breath and looking at everything that's moved on, that's changed, that you've grown from, you know, it does feel like you're in a place of pause that then leads you to here. And to like, okay, now let's work on manifesting this thing I want, because a lot of things have happened and a lot of things have happened rapidly. So let's just look, like take a minute and evaluate everything. And then we can find the best path to then lead us.
And I see this as very much an ecliptic energy for Leo, because I was talking about in one thing that I wrote or spoke about something where Leo starts Leo season and wants to kind of like hit the ground running and like go and like be Leo self. But then you have this eclipse and the sun is, you know, not able to cast its light the same way it normally does. So then Leos feel kind of held back. And maybe that's, but I said after this eclipse passed, then the ball can get rolling.
Yeah. I've got nothing to add. That's essentially what I am seeing as well.
Okay, I mean, I feel like that's a very quick read. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Virgo.
Cool. Let me switch my camera settings back. Hi. Do we want to do a different like hello for Virgo and everything, or?
No, I'm thinking if anything, we can use the one that we did at the beginning, or we'll just post this video, the full thing through.
And then just have clips. Like little whatevers.
Either we'll just, yeah, we can somehow download the video and then cut it up, or we can just post the thing in full, and I can take out a couple of the little pieces that we didn't want in there. But you know, there are a lot of videos that just say, hey, here's August video. Go to the 5-minute mark for this sign. Go to the 7-minute mark for this sign.
Put on YouTube where we can like put in so that they just have to like click a link and it'll take them to that time slot. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. Cool.
Virgo.
Hello, Virgo.
Venus is in your sign right now.
Oh, you know what? That's true.
Which is it's a hype. Yeah, which I think is an interesting sign to be in Venus, because it's a physical sign. In Virgos, I have some Virgo friends. They're all about the boom, 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 but it's also very hypercritical and a little neurotic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's in the love sign.
Okay, well, this is interesting. Let me go ahead and swap over, because it's exactly what we were talking about. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, you can. Good job.
Huh.
So what we have in the strength is strength.
So funny.
In the past is strength reversed. Does this look reversed to you, mind you?
It is reversed, but it's in the present. Or sorry, in the past.
Right. Well, I mean, just like imagery wise, does it look? I'm like trying to.
Yes, it's reversed, but it's in the past, not the future.
Yes. In the past, we have strength reversed. So like.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So it looks as if you're coming from a place of just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I need some sort of like path, some sort of idea, something to ground me. which leads us into, and it's funny that Venus is in your sign right now.
I know.
And lovers, which is partnership and unity, but also like, yes, lovers. So it could be that whatever it was that was throwing you off in the past, you found some sort of like binding with it, if that makes sense, or some sort of like agreement with it that has now put you into a place of like, okay, I've got this. Because the thing about like partnership or lovers even is that it's not about dominating or like being in control of the other person, but rather about having like a mutual ground with them, if that makes sense.
And it's interesting. Something about this season is teaching that to the Virgo, not only because of this Venus being in their sign, but the aspect of being in their sign during Leo season, which is all about the ego and the self. And something about the self was not really centered because you have the Strength card, which is the Leo card, in the reverse.
Right, exactly. But what is nice is I think this Venus energy is going to be really useful for you, because then we go into the freaking High Priestess, and she is also this yin yang and this balance. I think that there's balance I'm seeing for Virgos. A lot of like what might have felt kind of, my nails need some major help. What might have felt, let me grab this pencil so that it, what might have felt.
Teacher Nasa over here.
What might have felt very like shaky is going to start to get, you're going to start to get kind of control over it. But it's not to me that you're not seeing here, what are you not seeing? You're not seeing like judgment, and you're not seeing like chariot. You're not seeing any of the normal or traditional balance cards. And I think it's because the Venus energy is making a very feminine kind of calm for you, like a nurturing calm, and a it's not a logic. It's not a, I'm going to switch to my face.
Oh yeah, well that's because Virgos are trying to figure out whatever's going wrong through, because they're not an air sign, but there's something about their intellect that rules, you know, how they sort of navigate through the world. Because they're not water, they're not feeling based, you know, even though they are physical, it's still not, I don't know, you know.
The emotions, it's the brain that I think is trying to make sense of it, which is why I think Strength is in reverse. But what I'm seeing by the fact that these are very feminine cards is that it's your heart and nurturing and kind of that like Mother Nature type energy balance you out.
Which Uranus is still it's turning retrograde in a few days, and it'll go back to Aries, but it's in Taurus right now. So like that's all about, you know, Taurus is the first earth sign. It's very Mother Nature. It's very, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, so it's very expansive and, you know, mind opening and whatnot. So you have this mind opening planet within an earth sign. I think that somewhere in the middle will rest.
Yeah,
I feel like Virgo's right in the middle of all that, and it kind of
that's. And I honestly think whatever this energy is that Venus is giving Virgos, I think that's the thing that's going to be leading you to through this journey that we have here. And with the, because the High Priestess is like intuition, right? It's like trusting your intuition, yourself, trusting your inner eye. And obviously very feminine, and it's unlike the Magician, which is like, hey, you've got this. It's because the Magician has, oh God, what am I trying to say with the Magician? The Magician is more.
No, I'm keep talking, because I think I know where you're going, but
yeah, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but it's just me trying to get to this understanding, where the Magician is more like a masculine, like I understand what's happening and know how to use it, and the High Priestess is more like, in theory everything will work out, and I know that it will, and I can believe in myself and move forward.
Yeah, well, because the Magician uses tools to manifest, versus the High Priestess, who is deeper intuition, reflective, inner self. Versus external workings.
Exactly. So I would just
sits on a throne and like, you know.
Yeah.
Versus the magician's at a table working with his hands.
This is Leo, right? We're at Leo right now, and she's very mother lioness. I love that. That's the point I chose to switch to myself. I just realized how much I could have utilized the cards here. But like, she's very mother lion, right? She's very female lion. Just like, I've got this. Yeah, I know that technically everyone looks at the male lion to be like,
yeah.
But I'm the one that does the hunting. I'm the one that does the shit, and I'm the one who's really in charge here.
And I don't need to do all the pomp and circumstance to prove to everyone that I am the shit.
So yeah, Virgos, welcome that female energy that's coming into you right now. Welcome that feminine, that sexual, and allow that to be the thing that balances you out. Cool. Anything else?
No. Although I just want to, I haven't said this before, but I think somehow it applies. The myth behind the Virgo constellation is that the daughter of some king, I forget who exactly, he matched up with this like witch, and they cast down this monster. Oh my god, I can't remember any of the names right now. But anyways, she was like pissed at her father, and she was like, no, don't do this. This is messed up, and started a war and everything. And instead of fixing it, because she was like, I tried that, she said, you know what? Peace, I'm out. And she like jumped into the stars and became this Virgo constellation. Anyways.
No, that's cool. That's interesting. And I don't think that right now is a time of that kind of self-destruct energy, but I do think that's the Virgo like oomph that's coming in right now.
I guess not the energy of, you know what, I can't fix this. I'm gonna go take care of myself.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways.
Exactly.
Because she could have stayed on Earth and like worked really hard at, you know, stopping this war. And I'm so mad that I don't remember all the names. It was a while ago that I looked this up. Anyways, okay, so Libra.
I will say very quickly one more thing about Virgo is, what is it that you were feeling insecure about or like uneased about in the past? Why is it that this feminine and sexual energy is straightening you out? Why is it that you're in the present with the Lovers? This is something I'm intrigued about, because that's the thing that I'm like, what is that? Where is that going? What's happening?
This fell out while you were saying that.
So that's like a lack of balance.
What's unbalancing you? What are these things that you're weighing and trying to figure out, you know?
Because I feel like that's going to be different for many different people. But I think that you, Virgo, know what that is instinctually, and it's like, whoop, gonna hit you. And what's funny is that it goes into the High Priestess, which is trust your intuition. So I think right now you're in a period of like allowing whatever feminine sexual energy to come in and then
come through, but you have to trust it.
Right, and then you can hear your intuition, which is going to lead you to that balance. Now, going forward to Libra.
Yeah. Leo was like 4 seconds, and Virgo was like,
no, and I was
hold
like,
on.
Virgo. Oh man, all right, Libra. Just trying to read through it right now.
What she got?
Okay, I'm intrigued. Oh, I see. You can't see my cards. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
She's intrigued.
I'm intrigued, everybody.
What is she so intrigued by?
So we start off with the Hanged Man, which I think, hey, y'all, we're always the Hanged Man, right?
Oh my god, but it's like right side up. We never. I feel like
I know that it's always reversed. It's
always reversed.
You're wrong about feeling like you're being taken advantage of. But right now we have the Hangman upright. So it does seem like there is some shit in your past, right? And you have weathered through it, and have done so in a really like, what am I trying to help me out here with words? Hangman.
Well, I don't know. I mean, feel free to look it up on your app. I feel like it also there is a tranquil quality to it as well. Like it comes from a place of hardship, but things are so hard that you go, you know what? I can't fight this, so I'm just going to let it happen. You know, that's why when it's right side up, it's a martyr without a cause. But when it's upside down, when it's right side up, it's like it's a true kind of like martyrship of the like, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna let this wash over me.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I was trying to say. This was the problem I was having is I'm like, how do I explain Hangman? Like outside of like, yeah, you're right. The world is against you. That's what I feel like that is. But what's cool about this, I actually like really admire your journey from this card, from a Hangman to where we are here, Three of Swords.
Okay.
Because that is the right way to go. Where you're going for, because the Three of Swords upright is like heartbreak and suffering and whatnot, and that's an easy place to go if you're in Hangman, right? You're like, the world is against me, the world is against me, and then you go into a place of mourning because the world is against you. But right now, what I'm seeing with the cards is, the world is against me, fine, be against me, I will forgive you. For like you're having a Jesus moment. Libras, I forgive you for your transgressions. Like you've smacked my cheek. Here's my other one, kind of moment, and just being like, it's fine. I get where this comes from. It hurt me. It hurts me, but I'm not holding on to that hurt or anger. I'm breathing through it. I'm letting it go, and I'm gonna focus on my own journey. Which then makes me intrigued by the Nine of Cups that we have afterwards because it is reversed, which makes me think you haven't fully moved past this. You're in a process of trying to forgive and to let go, but you're holding on to something, and that's why this is here. And maybe it's not even you. Maybe it's the outside world is forcing that upon you. Like maybe there are things that you can't get out of. Right? Like you can't make somebody do something, or you can't escape your current situation, like job-wise or financial-wise or whatever. And so you're not at the place you want to be, and you're feeling unhappy about it. And like we're so, because the Nine of Cups is, I'm so close to having everything I want. Look at how close I am. Look at all my cups.
Yeah.
And with it reversed, it's like, why don't I have these? Why am I not here? Why am I not happier? Why am I not complete? What is this? And it's funny because this journey is saying something different to me. And then you go here, which is a very Libra thing, right? We talk about with Libras, sorry, Libras, if you're like, I don't do this, but we talk about with Libras where they're constantly going like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Everything is terrible. I'm in a good place and I'm moving forward and I know what I need to do for myself. I'm the worst person in the world. Like Libras, you're always trying to find that balance. And maybe that's what's happening with the cards. Right now you're in a place where you're actually okay, but it's going to lead you to a place where you're like, nope, not okay. Still not happy. Still not where I want to be.
And I think this is a fun micro example, like if this is like an individual going through this on like looking at the charts coming up on a more like macro scale, we have Mars going retrograde from Aquarius into Capricorn while Saturn is still making its way through Capricorn. And actually, Saturn is retrograding in Capricorn. So we have like on the chart, we had Mars and Saturn sort of, you know, moving forward together, but now we have them moving back. They're doing this fun little dance this like father energy with this warrior energy, sort of like doing this dance back and forth with one another in Aquarius and Capricorn, you know.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is because you said something earlier about these. What did you say? Oh, heartbreak. You said something about you said a lot of great things, and there was a reason why this sparked this. But the point I bring this up in Libra is that there's these two energies of this like schooling father, you know, this is what you should do, and then this Mars warrior, childlike Aries ruling energy in Aquarius being like, no, I want to do this, you know, kind of fighting back. And there's these two energies sort of at odds with one another, which is the scales, that's Libra. And both of these two things, one of them is square to Venus and Libra coming up, and that's Saturn, you know, which is kind of a conflicting, frustrating energy to deal with. And while it's trining the Mars energy, so it's kind of giving more energy that way. I don't know if that's making sense at all, but basically you have Libra over here in this love energy sign, sort of weighing out these two more constraining warlike signs. And there's this weird, you know, is everything good? Is everything not good? Is everything good? Is everything not good?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know if I put the pieces together right in that, or if that was pulling, but
you like it's essentially like, hey, Libras, it sounds like you're Libraing. It sounds like there's just like a dichotomy both in what we see here in the cards and also what you see in, this is fun. I hope that nobody gets like motion sickness. I feel like I'm just switching back and forth between it all the time. I'm like, cards, me. I'm Libraing myself.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I'm Libraing also. That's funny.
But it feels like you're in this like, there might be choices coming up for you. There might be multiple paths laying themselves in front of you. And the thing about somebody who struggles to make a decision is that decisions are hard. And if there are many decisions in front of you,
I mean, that's the Libra's main thing. I mean, they'll try, they would rather die than make a decision.
Right. And what it sounds like is there are decisions galore right now for Libra.
And especially if it's a decision involving yourself.
Right. Right. Exactly. And like your own future. And what are you doing? Hi. Where are you going? What's your choice? Who do you choose? What do you choose? What are you gonna, where, you know, where do you go from here? And it feels like for some reason right now is when all those choices laid out in front of you. And for someone who struggles to make choices, choices are hard. And that is probably why, despite the fact, we're going to switch back, so bear with me, Libras, despite the fact that you are in a place where you're able to see the good around you, where you're able to kind of come to terms with whatever struggles you had in the past, and where you're getting ready to like take a breath and move forward, you're still not happy. You're still dissatisfied with the choices and dissatisfied with what's going on and dissatisfied with where you're at. So Libras, switching back to me, if I was to do some sort of recommendation for this time period, now that like the Mars is in conflict with somebody, right? And your Venus is, I don't know. I like.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're like stabbing us with the pencil. Daggers. Aquarian daggers.
But like with everything that's happening in your charts and with all the conflicting energy that it feels like is in your like atmosphere right now. Hey, that was a really good choice of words.
There we go.
I know, right? With all the conflicting energy in your atmosphere right now, what I am recommending would be like, don't make these decisions on your own.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, that's interesting to say in Leo season where it's about the self. However, Leo is so quick and so to the point. Leo's like, I got this, but other signs struggle with that energy. And you even said with the Virgo, I mean, we dealt with the lovers, and now with Libra, you're talking about kind of other people and whatnot. Yeah, like you don't have, just because we're sort of in a time where it's about the self and the ego, doesn't mean you have to do it alone.
Right. And especially if you don't know what it is you should choose. Like, if the problem is 2 of those paths are correct, right? Not like actually, I don't know what your choices are, but what I'm saying is both can be correct. Both can be right. All can be right. None can be right. And it's hard if you're just sitting there and allowing that to circle in your brain.
Yeah, there's a Nietzsche quote. I think it's Nietzsche. It's like, you will regret everything you choose to do, and you will regret everything you don't choose to do.
Exactly. Exactly. And so what can help is somebody who's not going to wallow in that, but rather finding somebody who can make those decisions, or who's good at just kind of like clearly going, oh, what about this? Because then that can awaken you to something. You know, it's that whole like pick a path and just choose it. Right?
But in terms of the progression of Leo, Virgo, Libra, I mean, do take this time to maybe not to give yourself the freedom to play with these things. And then in Virgo season, you can be critical of them. And then in Libra, you can weigh out exactly, you know, what to do. Maybe don't worry about making a decision right now. Worry about that in September. Take the summer, figure it out, and then
enjoy where you're at right now, because
make a choice in Libra season.
Swapping back over again.
Celebrate your birthday and then finish out 2018.
Right? You're currently in a place of like acceptance and moving on. Don't worry about getting here or straightening this up right now. Live in this for a bit. Yeah, that sounds fair. Live in this. Live in this transition area, because that's a really good space to be in. That's incredibly impressive. You know, to go from feeling like you're wrong.
No, I see it. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That last cup is inevitable for a Libra, but like that, the first 2 is a step forward.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, a beautiful step that is necessary and important. So maybe just live in that for a minute, and then we'll get to the 9 of Cups reverse when we get there, and just remember that you have options and that there's reasons for this and that you're going to be okay.
Shall we?
Shall we? Yes.
Now, everyone watch out. Scorpio's coming up, so Nasa's about to get lit.
What is clearly a man in a sheet. In a ghost costume.
You're meeting with our Scorpio buddy later today, right?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna have to figure that out, because I meant to bring food with. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
The whole thing. Pull the cards. What's funny?
What?
As I said, like whenever I feel it, I've just been like shuffling a little bit and seeing what comes out, and these guys just came out. I'm getting some real intense cards. Anyway.
Wait, that was the Devil and who's
Queen
that?
of Cups.
Queen of Cups. Oh, what do you think that's in relation to?
I mean, this is very Scorpionic right here.
Yeah, that's an interesting place to be in, Scorpios, because Queen of Cups is like being in control of your emotions, and then the Devil is the opposite of that.
But if you find a fusion, I mean, Scorpios are devilish, but they're a water sign, you know.
Yeah, so that might be encouraging.
But it's a hard balance, which is why Scorpios piss everyone off.
All right. I'm like having so much fun right now.
And get pissed off too.
Okay. Come on, Scorpios. Hey.
Hey.
Oh my God.
What? No. Tell me. Give it to me.
I just love that this guy came back. Look who came back. I wish that I had your deck right now.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's the 7 of Cups.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah.
The man hiding in the
clearly no, and then we actually pulled on these cards one time, and you were like, "That's clearly a woman not hiding under a sheet."
It's clearly a woman not pretending to be a ghost. Damn it. So this is interesting. Just imagery wise, what I'm seeing.
I know, so interesting.
Is a woman who in her dreams is in control of everything and then is waking up to this, like, I don't know what's happening. Like that.
Oh.
That I see her in two places.
Yeah.
And like, here is her dream self and here is her reality, right? Here is what's actually, if we take a step outside, and here's probably what her dreams are. So I'm going to take a step back and start with this so that I can that transgression, but that's not the word. But transition, sure, that sounds like a better word. But I just needed to point that out because that was immediate.
I actually, it's so funny that you're having trouble with that word right now, because I was literally going back and forth between words, and then I finally said progression.
Oh.
But I was literally thinking transition, transact, what, huh? But the sequential, you know, there's so many different ways of putting that, but anyways. So go back. So yeah, go back, you know, backwards and forwards, which is fine. Time's relative, whatever.
I was backing up. Why?
Backing up, young and woo.
Scorpio. I don't.
Oh no, we got to end it. Shut it down, Scorpio. Okay, go to the first card.
Thank you, Scorpio. Won't. No. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups, which if it was upright, it's kind of like focusing on the past and ignoring your two, right? Your two. Right? But with it reversed, there's a sense of like, it's okay, like still sorrow, still feeling, just still mourning, but ready to turn around and look at your two cups. So
Scorpio, I see what you're saying. Like she's ready to wake up and look at her cups, literally.
Yes, exactly. Well, this fella, this is where we're beginning our journey, is having just gotten off of whatever kind of big move is in your world, right? Something has happened that has caused you to have to say goodbye to your home, goodbye to these cups, but you have two cups with you. You have these other cups there, and now you're ready to get them and to move forward. And what's funny is you're excited about it, right? You just got off whatever this is, and you're ready to begin this journey, and you are beginning that journey, and you're like, I've got this. It's going to be okay. It's going to be great. I'm going to be fulfilled. The whole fucking world is in my hand.
Yeah.
And then we go into the Seven of Cups, which is dreams and fantasy, which is telling me this isn't as easy a journey as you imagine it to be. It's not as hard a journey as you imagine, but it's not as easy a journey. Right now, you're in that process because you come to a good place and you're ready to move forward, that you're feeling complete. But I think that there's some fear that still lies there of the unknown, of the future, of like what's to happen. And that's why I think we go from her dream to her and to all the things that could happen. So like, you're in that dream state right now, but like soon, in a month, 2 months, whatever, you're going to start to be like, do I know what I'm doing? Do I know where I'm going? Oh God, oh no, what am I going to do? There's so many options. There's so much in front of me.
I mean, Jupiter's going to leave their sign in November.
Nasa laughs. Because I think that that's exactly what we're seeing. I think we're seeing that controlling power, that like,
yeah, it is a powerful thing.
I've got this, leaving. And then you're left in an empty room. It's like when you stay the night at somebody's house that isn't your own, that one brief moment where you wake up, like, and you look around and for a second you freak out because you don't know where you are.
Yeah.
And then everything comes back to you and you're able to like, okay, no, I know what I'm doing here. But in that moment, you're like, am I safe?
Yeah.
Why am I in this situation? And like, if you've recently broken up with somebody, for instance, and you have to like move, then that first day, that first moment when you wake up, for a second, you forget that all of that happened. And you're in a moment of just like, why is this all different? And I think that's what the Seven of Cups in your chart is symbolizing.
Why is this all different?
Why is this all different?
Like Jupiter has just enough time. It's like an 11-month gig maybe, or like a 13-month gig, something like that. You know, it's just enough time to get comfortable, but not enough, you know, but then it leaves.
Yeah. And why is this all different? And it's scary, but like sometimes good. It's sometimes good to wake up in a new bed or in an unfamiliar space. And that's why the Seven of Cups makes the most sense to me here, because there's possibilities, and the possibilities are good and the possibilities are scary. There's monsters, there's a pyramid, there's a castle, there's a snake, there's not a man who is clearly in a ghost costume. But
they're all shining, you know, there's
the possibility of happiness, there's the possibility of sadness, there's a possibility of good, of evil, of scary, of comforting. Like the world, the future is nothing but possibilities. And it's just that you've come off a place of knowing what you want and what you're going to do. And all of that's going to hit, and you're going to be like the person.
How do I do it all?
Yeah, you're going to be like the person waking up from a dream where you go, well, now what?
Yeah.
And like, you'll wake
I have this ideal version of myself or whatever, but how do I get there? There's so many roads, so many paths.
Yeah. And there's so much that I had to leave behind.
Yeah.
And there's so much that I know I'm capable of. And now how am I going to manifest anything? I keep going back to that moment because sometimes it really freaks me out. Like when I'm on vacation and I wake up and there is like, I'm going to switch back to me for personal story time. When I'm like on vacation and I wake up in a strange place and there's a combination of excitement because it's like, ooh, where am I? What am I going to do here? Like, why am I in this place? What is my life right now? But then also sadness because it's like, I want to make coffee in my French press, and I want to eat my breakfast, and I want to like interact with my cats and things. And I know I can't do it because I am not in that space.
And that's very fixed energy, which is Aquarius 1. Scorpio is also a fixed sign, and we're in Leo season, a fixed sign. And in the world card, surrounded by that lady is Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. You can see those pictures in the world card. So yeah, there's something very exciting about moving forward, but at the same time, if you stay within that fixed energy, then you can't.
Yeah.
The hard balance to have. Thing you just talked about.
Yeah.
Wanting to branch out, but also wanting it your way.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have anything, or shall I?
No. Sagittarius. Sag.
I love the imagery of these cards sometimes.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
Well, it's also just like you tell us a really clear story because they have certain who are the same.
Yeah, there are certain motifs that repeat, which helps. You know, I like these cards because of the traditionalness of them, but glitched out. The traditional meanings of them, but I like your cards because they're just so pretty and they tell interesting stories.
So pretty. Okay,
pretty.
so what is our next? Scorpio, and then we go to Sagittarius. Thank you. I'm still not like
the Centaur.
I should know them like the months of the goddamn year, Nisa.
No, you're fine. I think that's why we're putting our heads together on this shit.
I just think about in school when they made me memorize like these are the months of the year. Oh, these are the months of the year. I feel like
30 days has September, April, June, and November.
You don't know that. No one taught me that thing. So to this day, I'm like, I don't know how many days what month has. All right. So Sagittarius, ugh. The Sagittarius in my life are going through some. But I feel like Sagittarius always are. What's up? It's going through some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you know, even last month I was like, okay, great again. But I do. I feel like once its ruling planet goes into its sign, I think that's the thing about Scorpio is like, ha 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 ha. And then Sag is going to be like, no, this is my planet. Get over here, Jupiter. And it's such a far reaching energy that I think Sag is truly never really going to see the fruits of its labors because it's always aiming at something.
You know, it's funny that you say that. Because I mean, you know what? No, this is actually that now that I'm looking at it. But we do have the Four of Cups, but it's in reverse. So I think it's not about ignoring, right? What is the Four of Cups in reverse?
I mean, I wasn't saying ignoring, but I mean, it makes sense that the Three of Cups is in the future because, again, I feel like there's always celebration in the future. You know, Sag is always looking towards the thing. You know, fun is over there. If I just travel overseas or if I just go into that next relationship or you know what I mean? Like it's always forward thinking.
Yes.
They're the archer. They're always aiming towards something, you know, which is great, but maybe that causes it to not truly live in the present at times.
Right.
And
well,
read the cards.
my first instinct was, I lost my pencil. My first instinct with Four was correct, where it reversed is just a greater version of a greater version of what it is upright.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas upright, it's like boredom and apathy. Reversed, it's like discontentment. If that makes sense.
I feel like for reverse wants. There's a frustration there because instead of the boredom and apathy, it wants to take this new thing, but it just can't let itself, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what's the first one? What's the past?
Oh, that is the Knight of Swords, but reversed. So we've got Knight of Swords reversed, and we've got the Four of Cups reversed, and then we go to Three of Cups, which I'm actually encouraged by. And it's with this one, I think it has a slightly different meaning in my mind than with the other decks when I pull the cups there. So with the Knight of Swords reversed, it's I did look it up, and it was like no direction. It's feeling like you don't know what you're doing, right? You have all these like ideas and thoughts and concepts, but like why do you have these? What are these for? What are you doing? Where are you going? What's happening? And that's leading you to the Four of Cups reverse, which is like still feeling super stagnant, right?
Well, I feel like it's like a paralysis by analysis because you have the Swords energy card and it's in reverse, so it's kind of like all over the place, these thoughts and ideas you're trying to communicate but you can't, and then it sort of spins you out to where you're just like, I need to just sit here for a second. But even there you're upside down, you know, you're twisted.
If you have a name for Sagittarius, can it be paralysis by analysis? Because I love that.
Sure, give it.
for this month's in particular.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yo Sagittarius, paralysis by
analysis.
But yes, exactly. That's I think what's being shown in this card or in these cards is it's just like you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where you're going, and this is leading you to be frustrated and it's like aggression by the fact by your paralysis. Just like
no, it's incredible. Even though these cards don't look aggressive, it's aggressive.
Yeah. Yes. And then we go into
how are we going to take out that aggression?
Right. Which is interesting that we go to the three. And I'm actually kind of into this. I think
go to the bar.
Yeah, I kind of think what it's saying. So like normally with the Three of Cups in any other deck, it's women. It's women, but here it's three men. And I think that this change of energy, and it's businessmen. It's not like youthful, like 20-somethings. We're gathering outside to celebrate their like beauty and you know, which not to be harsh to the normal Three of Cups. Actually, they're very beautiful. but it feels
Yeah, this is more calculated.
Exactly.
Than celebratory and like seize the moment.
Yeah. Usually more like hippie-ish and like
exactly.
Or like businessmen being businessy. So what I'm getting from this progression is you have so many thoughts and ideas, you don't know what to do, and frankly nothing is working. You're getting really frustrated about it, so fuck it. You're gonna grab your closest friends, you're gonna go to a bar, and you're gonna live your best life.
Hashtag live.
Hashtag live your best life. Hashtag lit. Yes. Hashtag
no, live. I said living. And I was just listening because I've been trying to put some like playlists together music wise. And do you remember that song Selfie?
Yes.
From like 2012 or 11 or whatever. And she's like, what do you think of this caption? Living my best life with my bitches. Hashtag live. Let me take a selfie.
But it's exactly it's
and that's a very aggressive song, you know. I don't know, I just feel like that's Sag being like, you know what, as you said, F it.
Yeah.
There's all this going on.
I'm gonna grab my best friends, I'm gonna go to a bar, I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna talk shit about everything that's happening. I'm drunk. I'm gonna do exactly what I need to do to get the place that I want to be happy and content. Because
God damn it.
Because God damn it. And I'm gonna do it in a very calculated fucking way. And like, okay, yeah, post that selfie of yourself looking extra cute. Hashtag live, knowing that and be a little bit like, oh, she's looking really cute right now. Do that shit. Be that calculated. Go out to brunch and like leave your like go out, do a thing that you and your ex used to do all the time. Take photos of it and put it on social media.
Dang, you get it.
Like show yourself having a good time because whatever, you need that to move forward. And that community is going to help you feel grounded and happy.
Yeah, I think that's also very much because you have this character that's alone moving forward, then they're sitting down alone, and then you have them in a community.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like,
and where are they having the good time around other people?
Yeah, and like these people aren't like these two people here are like young, right? Young, still masculine and feel, although this I think is I think the person in 4 of Cups here is a woman, but still like a woman in a very masculine kind of ensemble.
Yeah, I love that about this deck. It flips the masculine, feminine up and down,
right?
Backwards and forwards,
very
ways and which ways.
Right. Yes. Because I feel like there's no feminine energy here, which is telling me that there's no listening to the heart.
Huh.
Like letting that sympathy, even the one character who is female, because I'm pretty sure that's a girl, is very masculine. Is a very masculine woman. So it's not the intuition and the nurturing part of you, Sagittarius, isn't being shown right now. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think you're putting up guards. I think you're putting up armor and you're trying very hard. And even in the moment that you're most vulnerable, you're trying to put up this image of, no, I'm fine. And that's, I think, what leads you to this world, because these are 3 old white men. I just feel the need to point that out. The rich old white men, they're like the most stereotypical of like, if we were to talk about like patriarchy, it's these 3 guys.
Yeah.
And I possibly, Sag, that's what you need. You need a little bit of like, you know what, fuck it, I am the patriarchy and I'm going to take over this world in that way. Regardless of gender or ethnicity or personal identity. I think you need to imagine yourself like a middle-aged white man and go get life the way that they do.
And it's cool because for this season coming up, this space that Sag is living at, I mean, there's no planets. There's nothing in there. So there's a vacuum, and you can fill it with whatever you'd like.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want to do it.
Yeah. Just do what makes, and that's exactly it. I think, like, do what makes you happy, Sag.
Shall we Cappy?
Shall we cap? Yeah, there I am. I love getting into tangents. I'm like, I hope that this makes sense. Right.
I know if we have time, we should do a quick year guy for Leo at the end, because I feel like that was like, Leo, you're good. Bye.
No, I do feel bad for Leo. We should. It was just like nothing was coming up strongly with Leo for me, which is weird. I think.
I mean, Leo has 2 eclipses in this season, a lunar and a solar. I feel like Leo is off kilter in its own season.
Yeah, maybe that's why we're having that weird thing. Is it's hiding in its own season, and that's very not Leo energy.
But that is kind of Leo energy in terms of like running away to deal with its problems, you know.
Right, but like
cats, they leave to die. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't let anyone see them suffer, because that is a sign of weakness, and that will take away its throne, you know, as the king or whatever.
Right.
So if they're having problems, they need to run away and hide or roar in the middle of the field to get out their frustrations, you know, because, you know, anyways.
Yeah.
Capricorn.
I know, I'm trying to like keep Cap in my mind as I'm.
Yeah. Sorry, I brought up. Yeah, it's so fun, this like the Capricorn Aquarius cusp, and all the things that are working on it. All of these, I mean, you have the lunar nodes shifting into it. You have the moon, Mars, you have Pluto, Saturn. It's interesting.
It is. I think this is actually very interesting. I have the cards up right now.
That 4 of Cups, what's up with that? What's going on with that
Well, it's not in every. It's been 2 so far, I think.
Oh, really? I thought it was 2 before this, right? This is the 3rd time?
Possibly. Yes, you're right. I think.
6 of Wands. King of Wands?
No, Knave. 6, Page of Wands.
Page, yeah.
So we've got the 6 of Wands, we've got the Page of Wands, and we've got the 4 of Cups. And the Page of Wands is in reversed, and I think that explains a lot to us why we go into the 4 of Cups. Because I think
it looks like in the past, Cap was like, I have succeeded. I have won. Or have I? You know? Did I really get what I wanted?
Well,
now I'm going to reflect on it.
And it's passion, right? It's whatever your passion is. So, okay. So,
What's going on?
Because of the narrative that I'm seeing right now, you fought real hard for whatever it is you have right now. Is it a new job? Is it a new lover? Is it a new creative possibility? What is it that you fought really hard for, Caps? Because you don't know what to do with it. And that's leaving you feeling bored.
Bored.
Apathetic is also a possibility, but it's leaving you feeling dissatisfied because you don't know what the fuck to do with whatever this thing that you fought very hard for.
Huh.
Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. I'm just kind of calculating it all in my brain. I was just flipping through because I felt the need. These showed up, so it's interesting that this guy came up for me.
Again.
Huh?
Page of Wands again, right?
Yeah, in reverse. But then I have these energies here.
Yeah, which is the 3 of Cups and the 10 of Swords reverse. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, though. That's what
you're talking about. Like, like, yes, yes, yes. Wait, what? You know?
Right, but also like I feel like the Ten of Swords it was upright because that's the end of a battle, right? The Ten of Swords and the Three of Cups. I'm going to switch over to my face. Ten of Swords and the Three of Cups together are telling me like there was a battle that ended and you were like and things worked out and you're like huzzah, we got this. Like
Yeah,
my lady, we succeeded. But the Page of Wands reversed says you don't know what to do with that.
exactly. It's like a spark that's an ember that's kind of like teetering in and out, and it's like, is this really what was the driving force? You know, is this really what you wanted? Is this really truly what you're passionate about, or is this a mask? Is this, you know?
It's so I'm going to take it into relationships just because I think it's easiest to explain, but I don't think it's necessary for that. But like, let's say there was somebody that you were in love with, right? You were in love with this person and you've been in love with this person and you finally got them to love you back, to kiss you, to want to be with you. And now you're like, I don't know if I want that anymore. Like it's a little like what you wanted was the chase. Now
what you wanted was what?
The chase.
The chase.
And now you've got it and you don't know if it's what you want. You don't know what to do with it.
That's interesting because Capricorns are about, well, one, they're ruled by Saturn and they're in their sign right now, but which is about structures and in terms of the body, they rule the skeleton. They're all about the foundation, the structures. But I feel like once Capricorn builds those structures, you know, they build the relationship, they build the job, they don't know what to do with it. It's like, what was it for? You know, is it true love, or did you just want the white picket fence? Is it your dream job, or did you just want the paycheck or the piece of paper that says you're really good at something?
Right, exactly. And I think that conundrum is leading you into what's going to be the Four of Cups. I don't know how to solve this for you, Caps. If you're having this feeling right now, I would say really take this time to decide if this is what you want. And if it's
well, also not to like diminish anything, because I only say this to add to it, but I've literally had multiple people call me and say, what's going on right now? Mm-hmm. Like, what's happening? Or text me or whatever, say like, what's happening? Like, and I feel like, and I don't know, I don't have any answers, but I speak to them in the moment, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what's going on planetary wise or whatever. But let's not just say that like, not sure how to help you, Cap, because yes, I agree with that. I'm like, I don't know where to go, but also there's a larger shift that's happening that don't be too hard on yourself. If you're like, what am I doing with my, you know what I mean? Like, if you're like, what is my life's work for? You know,
like, I can't give that advice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's something.
I say, like, I can't help you because I can't give you that advice because I don't know if you want this or not, because you don't know if you want this or not.
Yeah.
Right now, I think is a time to figure that question out. Do you want this? This thing.
Because if Capricorn wants something, they can get it.
Right.
Oh, they can get it.
I mean, obviously. This thing that you're fighting for, this thing that you've been working towards, do you really want it? And like, try and look at it without getting annoyed by the other possibilities that you're not having. Just try and focus on whatever this staff is that you have in your hand. Because both these guys are holding a staff, right? Both of them have it and they're working with it. But like, this guy is using it to fight, and this guy just doesn't know what to do with it anymore. Now that the fight's done, what do I do with the staff? So like, really. And
also, there's a transition from group to solo. You have this guy on a horse leading an army, and then you have him by himself, and then you have him without the armor, without the weapons, without the you know?
Right. Well, it's when there's not a battle, right? When you're not in the midst of a battle, it feels like you don't know what to do with it.
Ooh. Like, do you want the thing or do you just want the fight for the thing?
Exactly.
In which case, why is that?
Yeah.
Do you just want to fight, or do you want a life existence where it's about climbing? So I don't, yeah, like, as you said, there's so many hypotheticals and potential narratives that you could spin, but the general vibe, I think we have touched.
Yeah. So this is something I think, Caps, you're going to have to figure out on your own. But like, know that that's probably what's going on inside of you. It's not that this thing isn't right for you. It's that you don't know. Like, it's a transition. You've been fighting for it so long that now you don't know what to do with it. I don't know. Like, I don't want to compare it to like a war or anything of that sort.
No, but it's funny because I was literally just about to go to the chart and say you have Mars retrograding into your sign coming up. And then you were like, I don't want to say it's about a war, but
it just kind of feels like you're coming back from that battle and you're like, who am I outside of this battle? Who like, I've been fighting so long for this thing. Now what?
Now what? And we're in Leo season, which is all about identity and you know, the self and ego and whatnot. So maybe Capricorn's re-identifying because you have this Aries, you know, Mars energy retrograding into your sign while you have Pluto retrograding in your sign.
Yeah.
Which is all about major transformation, while you have Capricorn retrograding in your sign, which is about restrictions and structures and restructuring. So you have war, transformation, and structure all moving backwards in your sign.
Exactly.
And so you're reevaluating what all of these aggressive energies that you've been engaging in, you're sort of taking a step back.
Exactly. There you go.
And then they will move forward soon, and then they'll move into Aquarius, which is kind of what this whole channel is about. So like you have good things coming, but right now, yeah, it's difficult to say the least.
It's like you're coming back from a war and you have to reevaluate who you are now. But the problem is that it's also like a person or a thing or an entity or your life or whatever it is that this battle was. If it's a job, it's like a new career that you're doing. If it's a house, it's a new place you're living in. If it's a lover, then it's a person. And you're having to navigate all that while that is still in your life. It's not like you get to take pause. And that's where I think the future was coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If
cool.
you want to take a pause to evaluate it and you can't because you got to keep living.
All right, on to us. And by us, I mean all of us, but just our people.
All right, Aquarius. I'm so excited. Okay. This isn't bad. While I was shuffling, the King of Cups fell out.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't say anything until I looked at the reading. But yeah, this feels very King of Cups to me. Which is cool. I don't know if this resonates with you.
I don't know if it resonates either, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. It feels, I mean, this
resonates. I feel it. Yeah, it's a lot.
Right. It resonates with me.
It's unlike any reading I think we've had.
Yeah.
It's almost it's like there's something, it's almost like threateningly good.
Well, and here's the thing.
Does that make sense?
No, totally. Here's the thing. Sorry to people who like can't look at cards and automatically know what's happening, because I feel like we're having that conversation right now. Where we're like,
yeah, and I think some channels like to teach as they go, but I don't think that's really what we're trying to do. I think we're just trying to like tell a story. But
here's the thing. Despite the fact that it's all positive, there's a lot of dark colors, save for the
exactly. That's why. Okay, cool.
So I agree with you on that. And I think about our last one and I'm sorry to the rest of the signs, but also y'all not watching this. But obviously I remember the last one, which ended with the 9 of Pentacles reversed. That like, oh, you're so close to having everything you want. And oh, look, it's not happening. And that was very strong for me this month. Very strong for me this month. Very strong for me this month. And it's funny because right now we have the 10 of Pentacles, right, which is like family and tradition and everything kind of falling into place and being like, oh, look, everything is happening. And that is, I'm very much living in the 9 of Pentacles reverse, but I understand where this energy is coming from. Which is to say, I think that I'm getting both the positive and negative of this. So for me, this all makes sense. Because, so now—
why is that Knight of Cups so sinister looking?
Right? He looks evil. He looks like he's
almost looks evil.
And like it's messy, like it's supposed to be like a new romance or like adventure, or things are coming your way.
But it's so fun because I was shuffling through beforehand and this guy fell out, which is the Knight of Swords in reverse in terms of this deck is like very aggressive. You know what I mean? It's like it's a very aggressive energy, and I was like, oh, this message is going to be kind of crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what to really extract from this exactly.
What I'm seeing is that we have all the, like, the Magician makes the most sense to me. We have all the we need, but it doesn't necessarily, like, everything is actually coming up Millhouse for us. But I think that we're living in the darker colors. It's one of those, like, we can't see it, but things are working out for the best.
Oh, like we're surrounded by these kind of darker tones, but in the center, if you really like got to the center of it all, you have like this green grass and this bright red and the gold.
Right. It's there. We just have to look through the darkness. Right. The darkness of the past and the darkness of the future that still has positive messages, right? We still have this, like, hey, you're able to manifest everything that you want. And we still have, hey, there's a love. And it's funny because I have been doing this other, like, online tarot site, and they talk about how the Magician symbolizes, like, the potential of, like, a man in your life. And then we have the Knight on the other end, which is also like a man in your, or, you know, romantic partner in your life. So it's funny to me that we have these two, like, concepts of, like, not necessarily romance, but kind of in the middle of, like, a traditional happy home. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm just learning to speak more intently because it moves back to me, and then, but if it's like quick, I feel like what you said before about like seasickness. Anyways, but I was gonna say that about these two characters. You know, you have these two quote unquote lovers in the center, surrounded by these two energies.
Right.
The only thing I want to, like, I feel like we've already talked about this in past months about like fear and whatnot. So I feel like I need to move from like the fear based to the like not fear based. But there's something also kind of scary. Like, what if the center card is living in like a Desperate Housewives, you know, Edward Scissorhands fake bright world, when really there are kind of these more sinister characters surrounding in sort of invading this center energy. But I'm also taking it away from the narrative of past, present, future. So there could be that. But
I don't think that's incorrect, though. I think that's exactly what it's saying. I think it's saying this like traditional housewife kind of ideal that we have will always be corrupted by, like, that's why these two are, I think, here. Sorry, that's hard to explain. But
no, it's not. Continue.
That's why I think that they are here, and that they are their coloring, the coloring of this is such, is because it's like these are both positive cards. You know, we have
very much so
to manifest what you have, and you have a new adventure and like a new love and something like exciting and wonderful on the horizon. But they're cast with this darkness because it's scary. And the thing that's the safest,
ooh,
like, oh, tradition, everything is working out the way it's going to be, because like this is what we're supposed to do and this is how we move forward. But I think that's the thing that's like not real. It's saying, hey, live in this because you have this. Enjoy it while you're here. But it's because you're in a moment of pause from being able to get everything you want and having a new adventure. You're in this moment of pause. So enjoy being there and then tumble forward.
Tumble.
And it's going to be scary because new things are scary. There's gray because new things are scary. But there's yellow in the distance. And the same with him. He's surrounded.
Ooh. Yeah.
And there's gray around him. Because it's like, oh, look at all the things we can create. But isn't that a little scary? Because we're going to have to manifest things in our own way. And then it's like, oh no, but everything's going to be fine. Tradition, I'm happy, things are working out, it's going to be okay. New adventure. And a new adventure is scary, but a new adventure is...
new opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't look like it's a negative thing. It's not reversed. It's not stagnant. It's not like we're going to be wallowing. It's just change is scary.
Boom.
Boom. All right, cool.
On that note,
shall we progress? I'm like,
I can't do it. I gotta go. Okay.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm surprised just from personal things that have happened to me that it's upright, that the 10 of Pentacles was upright. But also I get it. Like I'm like,
well, I mean, what you said before, it's almost like these two, the past and the future, are coming in to sort of deconstruct this idea of the 10 of Pentacles. It wasn't the 10 of Cups, it was the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah. And you can look like the 10, you can look like safety and security and structures without actually having said safety, security, and structure.
Exactly. All right.
Especially an Aquarius who on the outside can look like, you know, everything's fine because they're not opening up and revealing what's going on the inside, but inside things are crumbling, you know?
We're aliens wearing people skin. That's my favorite. I'm like...
that sounds like a crime, but...
Pisces.
The lotion on it. Anyways, okay, so what you got? Oh, you're still pulling.
Interesting. This is not what I would have pulled, but I'm intrigued.
No expectations.
Intrigued to hear your thoughts.
Ooh, I love the colors.
Right? It makes sense.
It transitions so perfectly. Like it has like this like sagey green, and then the next card like half sage, half gray, and then it's gray.
Yeah. Yes, it makes so much sense, but I'm just intrigued by it. Okay, well that's good.
I feel like it's like the 9 of Cups is like, look at everything I have, and the Tower comes in and it's like, no, I don't want that Tower. So you like skip out of the way because it's in reverse, and then because you don't go through the Tower moment, you're left, you know, with this 8 of Swords energy.
Yes.
That was my quick synopsis.
I think you're completely correct. I think it's just because the Pisces in my life has gone through a Towers moment that I'm like, what? But like, on the other hand, avoiding the Tower doesn't necessarily mean not having the Tower happen.
Exactly.
It just means like maybe like what is it that was avoided in specifically if I'm going to be like my Pisces, what was it that was avoided might have been bigger, might have been worse.
True.
Seem like is relatively positive, but I think in a dark way, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Because like we have the avoidance of catastrophe, we have the avoidance of the Tower, and then we go into like a new perspective, self, like, you know, but you're still surrounded by these swords. You're still surrounded by it, but you see that there's a way out. It's just like you are still sad, but you understand that you can progress how to progress forward. And I think possibly because you avoided whatever this is, you have a way out, rather than if you allowed this to kind of build and catastrophe on you, maybe you would be trapped. Like maybe you would have been trapped in the falling of that tower, which is probably why, Pisces, you made this choice. Like, oh, I see things are going to self-destruct. Let me avoid that now.
The eject button.
Yeah, let me hit the eject. Let me not stay in this tower. Let me not try and save this building. It's coming down. So let me get out. And it's still hard because, like, whatever, there's still the potential for this catastrophe that exists within you and or within your world. And so you're still concerned and you're still sad and you're still frustrated, but at least you know how to handle it.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, it's hard regardless, because in the first card that you had to leave that.
Right. Exactly.
And that looks pretty good. It might not have been sustainable, which is why it crumbled down, but what you had was pretty cool.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And you had to run away from it in order to avoid it crashing down on you in a much worse way. I feel pretty content with this.
I'm great with that. Yeah.
that was sweet and to the point. Let's go into Aries. My hair is so frizzy right now. If you not. Eight of Swords just chilling out there, like constantly reminding me, like, hey, you sad. All right, Aries, we're existing for you now. I'm not able to shuffle.
No? You're such a good shuffler.
No! It was just like, I like couldn't shuffle the way that I normally do, and now it's just like, I think I'm just like, so much energy, Nasa. All right, there we go. Much better.
Boom.
Aries.
Yeah. Put the Aries cap on. Aries, I have a feeling is gonna, I want to say like a kid in a candy shop for some reason, but also like the stomach ache of said thing.
That's not, I didn't switch this over. I think that's exactly what's happening here, because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, this looks hella insane. I have very rarely seen death reversed, just ever in readings. Oh no, Aries, this looks terrible. This is like actually really funny.
Wait, did I actually just like, are you serious though? Do you really feel kind of what I just said?
It's exactly what you just said. Because we start off
I didn't see the cards. It's funny.
Which is, it's that same thing as with the tower, where it's like you're afraid of change, but with death reverse, it's like a fear of it, right? So it's instead of being like, all right, I'm going to embrace this, it's like, no. And
yeah, like a kid kicking and screaming.
Yes. So like it feels like someone is dragging you to get onto this roller coaster and you do not want to go. You're like, yes, kicking and screaming. And then you just kind of have to deal with, like, normally this is like, oh, there's a fun little fight coming up for you. And right now you're just like, I don't want to fight. Like, that's what it feels like. It feels a lot like, I don't want to fight. There's a fight. I'm going to switch this to my face. Aries, there's a fight coming up for you. I don't know what it is, but you have a fight in your future. I know you don't want to deal with it. It looks like you're going to have to. And it looks like you're going to try to not, because that's what the 5 reversed is it's like avoiding conflict, resisting fight. I don't know that's first of all, that's strange for you, Aries.
Well, Mars is retrograding right now.
That makes sense.
And it's in Aquarius, and Aquarius is humanitarian, like wants everyone to get along.
So maybe that's what it is that's happening.
So, yeah, so it's like taking a step back, you know, and it doesn't want to, but it'll move forward soon.
Right.
What was the Aquarius reading again? I already forgot it. I have no memory.
Ours was like darkness within like happiness, so it was the magician.
Yeah. So there's some, so just to make connections there, because your planet is retrograding in our sign, there your current position looks like the 10 of Pentacles, but it's surrounded by these incoming darker forces.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that Aries is gonna have to deal with, as you said.
Yeah. It feels like there's a fight coming I want to do. But I don't think you get to avoid it, because like this one's resisting fights, avoiding.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like, it feels like you're trying not to get into this battle. What is this battle? What are you so afraid of? What is it that's changing for you, and why are you scared of that?
I feel like this energy in the past, the Chariot is almost leaving. It's almost like they're like trying to get away as fast as possible, and then they're pulled back into it.
Right. Well, that's it exactly. Well, what it feels like is you're like, oh no, everything, like something is happening, something is dying, and I'm not gonna let it die. I'm gonna keep it alive. And you know what? My kitty cat just passed away recently. My like childhood kitty cat.
Oh, I was like, who?
Oh yeah, my childhood kitty cat, my favorite.
Oh, at home. Okay.
But the thing is, my mom had scheduled, we were going to pay like thousands of dollars, like almost $10,000 amongst us, to keep, maybe it was 2,000. Anyway, to keep this alive. I don't know. My mom sent me the number.
Sure. I get the idea.
We were going to pay a lot of money to keep this cat alive, right? But like 3 days before his appointment, my cat died. And I feel like that's this. You're going to pay a lot of money to keep that cat alive, but the cat went on its own. That's what I'm seeing here, is like you are working really hard not to let whatever it is in your life that you don't want to change, but it's changing. And now you're trying to find a way to not have to deal with that, to get out of whatever the ramifications of that is. And I don't know that you can. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. And I guess my question is both, why? Why do you feel like you don't want to handle this change? And what is it that you need? Like, what is it that would make it easier for you to handle?
Yeah.
Because I think that's more the question you should be focusing on than how do I avoid it?
Well, a team.
A team, yeah.
In the last card, are you 1 against 5? Are you 1 against 4? Or are you 4 against 1?
So, Aries, that's, I think, where you're at right now. I don't know what it is that's causing this, but like, I think it's a moment of, all right, let me figure out why I'm avoiding this and really get to that core and see if there's something that I can use to like help me with it, rather than just focus on like, I don't want to deal with this right now. There's my rubber band. So I'm pretty content. Did you have anything to add?
Nope. Taurus. Taurus had a pretty good setup last time. I feel like it's going to continue to have a good setup. I feel like Taurus is going to be coasting for a minute.
Cool.
In a good way.
Happy for Taurus.
Unless there's some challenging aspects to some things going on in Taurus, but I don't think so.
We'll find out.
Well, it does have a planet, it does have Uranus retrograding in its sign, which is squaring Mercury retrograde. So like there could be some mixed communication or something, which might reflect in the cards, so it's
actually
careful if there's any tricksteriness in here, but hey, Bells.
Oh. So what I see here, there's nostalgia into like something is blocking your joy. And then you have the Ace of Pentacles, but reverse, or the Ace of Wands. Why did I say Pentacles? The Ace of Wands, but
It's just a stump.
I know.
It's not even a wand.
Well, and then there's the bunny that's like chilling there. Like, I forget. I had like a really clear interpretation of this a while ago, where it was like, if it's upright, you're the bunny about to make that journey to. There's like a castle in the background. You're that bunny about to make that journey, and if it's reversed, you're hiding from that.
Oh, behind the log. Like I can't go to that castle. It's too much.
Right. You're like, nope, don't want to go there. Don't want to deal with this. I can't. Versus if it's upright, it's like a moment of pause before you're beginning this new thing. And with it reversed, it's like, I'm just going to stay back here.
Which is Taurus. That's very fixed.
Yeah.
Everything's in their terms. It's a little bit stubborn.
Yeah, and especially if something is blocking your joy, and if whatever that thing is, it feels like comes from a place of nostalgia. Like you looked at the past and wanted whatever it was that you had, and are realizing you don't have it, and that's leaving you in like
unbalanced,
unhappy world, and then that's making you not want to progress forward with life.
Well, everything I said beforehand, excuse me, maybe it relates to, like, I was seeing the castle, you know, like that's where you should be, and you're holding yourself back because you're living in the past instead of moving forward.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was all childlike imagery. So something about Taurus is just like not wanting to grow up.
Yeah, I think that there's something in you right now, Taurus, that's making you want to just, you don't want to take on whatever responsibility.
Yeah, it's responsibility.
A lot of what's happening is a lot of people aren't looking to, or aren't wanting to. I wonder if that's because Mars is retrograding right now. They aren't wanting to take on a battle or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think now that we've been dealing with it for more than a second, the obligations are coming in. Like, we're taking a second to take stock of everything that we have to fight for, and we have to be ready for that. So once it moves direct, we can start to chip away at what those things are and take on the responsibilities and obligations that have been kind of thrust onto us.
Yeah. Yes, I'm feeling that intensely. Sorry, I don't know what else to add to this. Or if there is anything that should be added, you know? Like, I honestly think, yeah, that you're just in a place where you're not ready to move forward for some reason. What do you got? What do you have?
Not ready to move forward. You see it?
A little bit. Is that the Queen of Wands reverse, and then the final one is what?
Hangman. You have Five of Cups reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, Hangman reverse.
Yep. Well, the Five of Cups in reverse is moving on, which is funny. But then everything else feels like nope.
Okay, so yeah, I guess kind of what I was saying before, it's taking off the blindfold, you know, recognizing all the things that you have to do and going, I don't want to do them. I don't want to do them. Yeah.
Because Queen of Wands, that's your passion. And you're just like, I can't take care of myself in that way. And
it's too heavy of a burden.
And then the Hangman reverse is like,
nope.
Yeah, why is everyone doing this to me? Which then makes sense. Yeah.
And it's so funny because I said out loud, I was like, oh, Taurus is good. They got this. Actually, they're like so grounded and cool. And I think the response to that is, don't put that on me. Don't make me be the one person that has their shit together.
Exactly.
Huh. Okay. Gemini.
I knew there was something in between. I was like, and then it's Cancer, right?
You just gotta listen to the Beyonce Zodiac song.
Again and again, much like these are the months of the year song.
Exactly.
I have to put an ad after we're done with this. I'm like feeling the energy.
Feeling what?
The energy, the like Taurus hit me in a weird way.
Well, that's what they do. They're the bull.
Yeah.
Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
It got me shook, y'all.
What's your necklace?
Oh, it's a seahorse.
A seahorse.
But then there's a pearl inside. My cousin gave this to me. You have to crack open the pearl and get it yourself. What?
Is it an older gift, or is this recent?
It's very new. I got it over when I was in California.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Very pretty.
It was just funny because she didn't know that I love pearls, because I like that there's a uniqueness to them. Because no two pearls are the same, and nor can they be, because they're naturally created.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's because we make entire necklaces out of these things that are imperfect. And they're considered so fancy and like
precious.
Right? Yes, but they're imperfect. And I love that about pearls. Love it. And so she then gave me this this is the first real pearl I've ever owned, even though it was like probably $10, but still, it's the first real pearl I've ever owned. And like, she gave it to me and I was like,
in a seahorse.
You don't understand how cool that is. And it's supposed to be about like, the color of it means something, and it's a color that I'd have to look it up, but that's supposed to be there for like
pearls of different colors.
Yeah, depending on what salt
really interesting.
But it's a color that's supposed to be about like manifesting like your shit, you know, like
yeah.
So it ended up being like useful on several levels. So, but oh no, all right, I'm gonna shuffle one more time. Sorry, Gemini. I got really lost in talking about pearls and my cousin. And
no, but I think that there's a reason why. I think everything has a reason. I noticed it, but I didn't want to bring it up until now. And it's interesting that after all these signs talking about not being able to sort of step into the shoes that they need to step into, which is about, manifesting whatever. And seahorse symbolism and meaning. Are you feeling too small to successfully navigate the choppy waters of life? Can you see all sides of the situation? Seahorse medicine can help. Anyways.
Yeah. All right, I've got the cards up.
Get it.
So this is interesting, because what I see here is we've got the Page of Pentacles reversed. We've got 8 of Pentacles, and then we've got the 6 of Swords reversed, right? So I'm trying to think of this journey, because this is definitely a journey that I'm seeing here. There's a story that's laying out in front of me, where it's like in the past, maybe you don't put that much effort into work, but then at a certain point you're like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be better. I'm going to work really hard. But there's something you're not leaving behind.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to figure out what that last one was about, but you're right. It's like this progression from past to present, which is very similar to another reading we had earlier, where it's like, oh, the first 2 cards progressed so well. Oh, the Libra card, like, oh, it's such a big step, but you're still not ... And that's kind of what's happening here.
Yeah. So like, what is it that you're not able to let go of, Gemini?
It looks like you're working really hard with the 8 of Pentacles in the present.
And it looks like you're working really hard at a place where, or at a thing that like previously you didn't want to, or didn't feel the need to, for whatever reason. And like, maybe that stops satisfying you and you're like, you know what? I want to keep this. So let's say it's a relationship even. Let's say that the relationship is like, hitting a hard part, and you're like, no, I love this person and I want to keep them, so I'm going to put work into this relationship. But something is holding you back. Something is not, and like, is it that you aren't willing to accept that you don't want this, that you need to let it go?
Yeah, that's it. Maybe it's like you're in the first one, you're supposed to let it go, but instead you bear down and go at it even harder when that was the one thing that you were supposed to. What if the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is a facade? You know, it's putting your eggs in a basket that's just used as a distraction to deal with the one thing that you're not dealing with.
Right. Or is it the opposite of that? Is it that it doesn't matter how much work you're putting into it, there's something that is holding you back from really succeeding at this?
Yeah, I see that. I see that too.
Like maybe it's a habit, because like I saw laziness when for some reason these cards are new cards that I haven't like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've worked with you with this deck for a minute now, and I've never seen these.
Yeah. So like, is it that because laziness is one of the possibilities with this? So is it that maybe you haven't really overcome like that laziness or that insecurity or whatever it is that made you like not succeed at this, so that no matter how much work you're putting in, you're still in that place of like, well, I still got baggage? Or is it that you were supposed to let this go in the first place, so it doesn't matter how much work you put in, you're just resisting change? This is the question that I have.
Gemini.
You know what? That is funny. I'm going to switch to my face now. That is funny that this can be interpreted two ways, and it's Gemini.
I know, yeah.
Because maybe it's both. Like, hey, Gems, maybe part of you is, some of you are one thing and some of you are another. Because remember, twins are similar but not the same.
So it's like you should let it all go down, but you're doubling down, or you're doubling down and you can't let go of the one thing that will actually help you double down. Like, it's so topsy-turvy, but yeah,
because twins are similar but not the same. So the question is you? It's funny that this has two interpretations, because for Gemini there's the twin souls, the like dual sides, two sides of a coin. And maybe it's like, which side are you? Or is it a combination of both? Is it that you need to let go of it, but you can't? And if you really wanted to work at it, you'd be working at something that you don't see or won't acknowledge that you need to work.
And it's funny because all these cards, they've been having this, you know, sort of pause, step back, figure out what's happening. Oh, I don't want to do that, but I need to go do that. While this one seems to be very much in the thick of it. And kind of like with Sag, what I was saying before, that Gemini has nothing in it. So there's also a vacuum there where you can choose. There's a choice to be made, and it's not really being directed by any sort of, you know, other energies. It's more on you, kind of like with Sag. It's on you. Do you want to just like say screw it, screw all these things, and like go out and take care of yourself? Similar with Gem, like, do you want to leave this thing behind and move forward, or do you want to leave everything behind and choose something new because that was holding you back? I don't know, but there's a space in here where there's an opportunity here. Yeah. And it's up to you.
It's up to you. Cool.
I got one more. Cancer. Oh, it's so interesting. So interesting. I wanted to say this back. We had to postpone the one time, but especially during that time, and I guess it's carried over, the Cancer-Leo cusp is the cusp of oscillation.
Of like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know what that means necessarily, but like.
Well, oscillating, it's just kind of this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Like in context, like I don't know how to contextualize that.
Well, I feel like that's what a lot of these have been about. It's been about which way.
Right.
Without a very clear narrative arc within the pictures or symbols or whatever.
Funny, I've had like this urge to pull cards from one specific place. Interesting what I see here. Colors are all very dark. We got a dark color scheme going down.
Like a deep green, forest green.
Right. It's not, I guess dark isn't the right word, but like muted. We have a muted color palette.
Yeah, I see it. Muted color palette.
Which is what I'm feeling right now. And it's funny that there's so much winter imagery in what is a summer card or a summer.
Oh, so wintry.
Yeah, but we've got the Hangman reverse. We've had a lot of Hangmen coming up.
Well, everyone feels stuck, it seems.
Yeah. This is interesting. Yeah, so it's you're coming from a place of, oh, why is everyone doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? Woe is me. But there's still a lot of hard work that's being put in, and yet you still want to pull away. Maybe it's that you're working on yourself. And
well, can't you want to take care of everyone else?
Right. And right now you're putting work in, and that's why maybe you need to take a step back. Because you're trying to fix something. Whatever it is that this Hangman reverses. And you can't without kind of like having an understanding of your own wants and needs.
You can make coffee. I'm taping, but you can make coffee.
What?
Sorry. Just a little sidebar. Say that last thing again. I'm sorry.
No, it's you want to fix everything, but you can't. You're putting effort in to fix things, but you can't without focusing on your own wants and needs. So like maybe this Hangman reverse isn't so much woe is me as it is I'm the only one who can fix it. Right? Because sometimes you martyr yourself. You're like, it's fine. I've got this. I'm going to take the burden. And sometimes it's that kind of energy. And sometimes this isn't something you can fix. And you're putting all too much of yourself into fixing it.
Yeah.
You know, so rather than it being like, it's fine. I've got this. I know I'm the one who has to, I don't know, organize the party again.
Yeah.
Cake has been destroyed. You're not getting another cake. There will not be cake at this party. Stop trying to bake a cake in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That cake is gone.
It's not going to happen.
Not happening. No place has cake. Go to your room and sit and take a breath. Yeah.
And if you also have to recognize what that is and then move forward instead of going, instead of now lashing out at people and saying, I spent all this time on this cake and now no one has cake because you ruined the cake and I'm here trying to make this party a great party and no one's da-da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden you make the party not fun because you're complaining about how everyone else is making the party not fun.
Right. Yeah. So like, and the funny thing is I feel like that's not hard for, like, I think Cancer knows this. Maybe this is just one of those instances of like, hey, if you want to hear it out loud, you're putting a lot of effort into fixing something that I don't think can be fixed. Take a breath. Go into the other room, take a breath, figure out what it is you want. Stop putting so much, like, stop trying so hard to make fetch happen. No, stop.
Yeah. No. I knew you were going to say that at some point about fetch, but also like figure out what you're trying to facilitate. Let's go to the party analogy. You're trying to facilitate this party for everyone and it's not working because you cannot make everyone happy. So what do you want this party to look like? And tend to that. And inevitably that will still be comforting and helpful to everyone else. But if you come from a disturbed, off-center place, and that's only going to project outward to this thing you're trying to help. So if you just take care of you, that's still going to be helpful to everyone else around you.
Exactly.
And that's kind of, I feel like, sorry, you take over.
No, I agree with you. I've got nothing else to kind of add.
Yeah, I feel like something about the Seven of Pentacles in the now. Yeah, it's like unreaped rewards. You know, it hasn't grown to its fullest yet. And so then you get to take that step away and be the hermit and like reflect and see where things could be different or look inward or blah blah blah. Anyways, it's 11:30. I got to dip soon, but I can do a little bit more Leo stuff if you want, or we can call it a day. You're up to you.
Sure. Yeah, let's do a quick let me refocus that. Do you want to do Leo one more time, like redo Leo, or do you want to, what do you want?
I'd say maybe just pull some cards and then it can be centered around Leo, but not just because of before, but because it's their season, and sort of use it as like A to B, like encompassing everything that we've talked about today and the repeating elements.
Sure.
Yeah. And sort of tie it up with them as the focal point.
I'm gonna pull however many cards I feel like I need to. This is interesting. I feel like I could pull more, but I'm gonna start with these. I pulled 6.
Ooh.
Just like to pull. So we've got the Ace of Cups reversed. We've got the Knight of Swords. We've got the 7 of Swords. We've got the 6 of Wands reversed, the 3 of Cups, and the Emperor. Hold on one second. So like what I'm seeing, sorry, there's so much happening.
Now, if I had the cards in front of me, what I would do is I would kind of put all the reverses together and see, like just start there. Like we
only have the 2 reversals and they're on top of each other.
Oh wait, why did I in my brain I saw 3. That's so weird. Okay, yes, you're right, and they are on top of each other. We have like this cup kind of spilling out over this warrior that normally it's about victory and whatnot, but it, kind of like in another reading we had, I think it was with Aries or whatever, where it's
right. Oh, hold on.
And we also could be forcing them, as you know, because Leo was so quick, we also could be forcing this. But I feel like there's something in there, especially with that Emperor card at the end. I feel like
there's this. I mean, it's funny that it's like wasted emotion over self-doubt and loss, and then we have like a new idea over companionship, and then we have someone feeling like they're duping somebody over somebody feeling in control, right? Like if you
read it that way, I see the organization now that you have it in your head, and I'm reading it with you.
Yeah. So like, what action adventure? Oh wait, that's with Wands. I think that there's. I'm trying to like find words for this. It's still action and speed. Wasted emotion over something. There's something that's not feeding you, right?
Yes.
And it's not feeding you, and you aren't successful at it. It's not working for you. And then we have like, okay, I'm going to progress forward in good company. I'm going to progress forward in this good company. And that leads me to feel guilty because I am in charge. Right. And if I remember correctly with our Leo, it was a lot of like hiding, and it was a lot of like this kind of not self-doubt, but this kind of like, this isn't working out the way that we had thought it would be. And that's what I'm getting here too. I think that there's something that you're working on that you're better at than you give yourself credit for, and you feel guilty for that. And you think that there should be something else that you're supposed to be like. This is telling me there's something that you want to succeed, and it's not working. And there's something else that's working, a new idea, right? A new adventure, something different, a new thought, The
I
message.
think that new thought could come from kind of like what I said in another sign. I was like, what would help if you talk to people? And that was kind of Aries, which connects to the Emperor card. But maybe in talking, maybe if you, instead of hiding, like we showed in the first one, maybe you open up a little more, be a little more vulnerable, talk to your friends, and maybe maybe those are some ideas that you can steal. Maybe this Seven of Swords doesn't have the negative energy attached to it. Maybe it's a little bit more friendly, a little bit more playful, of like you're sort of picking people's brains for new ideas, and then all of a sudden you leave this Three of Cups energy with all these extra swords that gives you new ideas that you didn't see from your own perspective, that help you step into the shoes of the Emperor that you are.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Maybe that is what the story is, and so maybe that is the thing to keep in mind here. You know,
don't all, you know, protect your ego, protect yourself, but there are people that you can open up to, and that'll give you tools to move forward and become the king that you say you are and truly are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Any thoughts? Any other tidbits, or do you think we're good?
I think we're good. Great. Well.
All right. Happy August.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot that's happening right now, both like in the ethos and also in the cards, but hopefully.
Yeah, I think this, even though we did it a little bit quicker today, and maybe it's because we stayed on a flow by just staying in one take mode for the first time, but this did seem to be a little deeper than normal. And maybe it's also just skill sets.
Yeah.
Deepening and opening up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements happening. I mean, this is when we met.
Yeah. This is
a year ago.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Hi, what's up?
1 year.
1 year.
Great.
It's been a year, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a long year.
It's been a long year. It's been a long year.
I want to do this off camera before really kind of digging into it on camera, and something that we'd put out there, but we need to talk even deeper about this, what you said about this is the year of Aquarius, and just like kind of make some projections on 2019, 2020, 2021, and just think forward a little bit so that we can then draw back and use that as a reflection on the now.
Okay.
Anyways, all right. I think we're good, and we'll see you in September, yeah?
All right. See you everybody in September.
Later.